Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today we are discussing an important observation made by the Supreme Court of India regarding the RERA Act, the Real Estate Regulatory Authority. The RERA Act was introduced to protect the home buyers and bring transparency into India's real estate sector. However, the recent oral observation from the Supreme Court have raised a serious concern about whether the RERA Act is actually fulfilling its intended purpose. In this video, we will break down the court's observation, understand the case context, and analyze what this means for home buyers, builders, and the real estate regulatory system in India. In a strong and a surprising oral observation, the Supreme Court remarked that it may be better to abolish the RERA Act, stating that it appeared to help builders rather than protecting home buyers. This observation was made on February 12, 2026, during a court hearing. This statement is extremely significant because RERA Act was originally designed as a consumer protection law. Its purpose was to regulate developers and ensure timely delivery of projects, transparency in pricing, and protection against unfair practices. However, the court remarks suggest that in practice, RERA Act authorities may not be effective servicing the home buyers. This raises a serious question: is the regulatory system truly protecting the consumers, or has it become ineffective? Let's understand the intended purpose of the RERA Act. The RERA Act was created to bring transparency, the accountability, and fairness into the real estate sector. Before RERA Act, homebuyers often faced delays, fraud, and lack of legal remedies. The law aimed to ensure that the developer registered projects provide accurate information and complete project on time. However, according to the Supreme Court's observation, the reality appears to be different. The court expressed concern that regulatory authorities may be functioning in a way that benefit builders rather than protecting customers. This suggests a possible gap between the law's intention and its actual implementation. The court's critical view indicate that regulatory bodies may not be fulfilling their core responsibility of protecting home buyers. Now, let's understand the case in which this observation was made. This case is titled State of Himachal Pradesh versus Naresh Sharma, heard on February 12, 2026 in the Supreme Court of India. Importantly, the court's observation about abolishing the RERA Act was not the main issue of the case. It was we call an obiter dictum. An obiter dictum is a remark made by a judge that is not part of the final legal decision, but reflect the judge's opinion or concern. This observation arose from the court's frustration with how the system is functioning rather than from a constitutional challenge to RERA Act itself. This means a RERA Act was not been abolished, but the court has clearly expressed dissatisfaction. The dispute began when the Himachal Pradesh government issued a notification to shift the state RERA Act office to Dharamshala. This decision was challenged in the High Court, which stayed the government's notification. The state government has then appealed to the decision in the Supreme Court. While discussing this administrative issue, the Supreme Court shifted its focus to a broader concern: the effectiveness of RERA Act itself. During this discussion, the court expressed dissatisfaction with the performance of the RERA Act authorities. This is when the court made a strong observation questioning the unusefulness of the RERA Act. This is show that the court's concern was not just about the specific case, but about the overall functioning of the regulatory system. This information has been reported by Bar and Bench. According to the report, the Supreme Court signaled deep satisfaction with the real estate regulatory bodies. The court observed that their functioning appeared to benefit developer more than the home buyers. This observation highlights a critical issue whether the regulatory bodies are effectively protecting consumers, which was their original purpose. However, it is important to note that this was an oral observation, not a final judgment. RERA Act continued to exist and functioning as a law. But this observation may lead to future reforms, stricter oversight, or improvements in the regulatory system. In conclusion, the Supreme Court observation has sparked an important debate about the effectiveness of RERA Act. While the RERA Act was designed to protect home buyers, its real-world implementation may need improvement. This situation highlights the importance of strong regulatory informants and accountability. Whether this lead to reform or structural change remain to be seen. Thank you for watching.